opening scene from the Are You Afraid of the Dark series. And whenever I think of urban legends, I think of this for some reason. I just think it really captures the spooky, eerie essence. Hey guys, I'm Courtney McGinley and welcome back to the most amazing top 5. Before we get started, I want to remind you to show some love by giving this video a big thumbs up and subscribing to our awesome channel so you never miss a new video. Alright, let's get started on our list of the top 5 scary urban legends that are true. Starting off at our number 5 spot, the Dog Boy. This urban legend comes to us from Arkansas, and it's about a werewolf-like dog man who would roam around the town of Quitman, killing people and animals, but it turns out this just somewhat embellishes a true story. So in 1954, Gerald Beatus was born, and right from the beginning he had a bad reputation. As he grew up, he was said to be cruel and sadistic. Rumor had it that he would capture stray animals and perform some pretty messed up experiments on them. As he grew older, his cruelty grew stronger and he began hitting his parents. Then in 1981, when Gerald was 27, his father was found dead in his home. The paper stated that it was from an illness, but the townspeople believed he died at the hands of his own son. His mother ended up testifying against him in court and Gerald was sent to prison. This is where he ended up dying sometime in the 1980s. People have said his spirit still haunts the house he grew up in. In many versions, his ghost walks on all fours like a shaggy dog, hence the title of the urban legend, the Dog Boy. In at number 4, the Pigpen of Death. Yeah, this one's just really sick. So as legend has it, one man, let's call him Bob, tied another man, let's call him Tim, up to a chair and threatened to feed him to the pigs if he didn't do what he wanted. Tim refused to do what Bob requested of him, so Bob tossed tied up Tim into the pig pen. Also, I should mention, at this point Bob had been basically starving his pigs. So as soon as Tim was in the pen, the pigs went after him and ate him alive. Yeah. Lovely. Apparently pigs like to eat us as much as we like to eat them. Now where this legend came from. A Vietnam War vet in Oregon began to raise some pigs on his farm as treatment for his post-traumatic stress disorder. Things were going well and the pigs being there really helped. The man's family even referred to these pigs as lifesavers. But then in 2012 the man went out to feed his pigs and he was never seen again. And no one knows what happened to him to this day. When his family went to look for him in the pen, all they found was his dentures and a few scraps of fabric from the clothes he was wearing, as well as little bits of flesh scattered about. So it's clear that these pigs ate him. For what reason? Who knows. The family doesn't know if he had a heart attack or if one of the pigs just took him down. But for whatever reason, this man's pet pigs completely turned on him and devoured him. Yeah, that's just so messed up. At number 3, Alice killings. This is one of Japan's most famous urban legends as well as one of its newest. It revolves around a series of murders that happened between 1999 and 2005. It's said that these victims did not know one another and that all of the killings were done in different ways. But there is one similarity that tied them all together, and that is the fact that a single playing card with the word Alice written on it in the victim's blood was found on all of the bodies. Now, that is the legend. The truth is that there is no evidence of these killings taking place. But these legends did come from somewhere, and that is from the story of a serial killer who did in fact identify who he killed by placing playing cards on their bodies. But this was in Spain, not Japan. And in the real version, the killer was caught in 2003 and was sentenced to 142 years in prison. So as there were similarities that this Japanese urban legend was based off of, it got blown out of proportion. But it gained popularity by being on the internet. Coming in at number 2, Corpsey of Staten Island. So this is one I've never heard before. If you live in Staten Island, then let me know if you're familiar with this urban legend. So apparently Corpsey is like the boogeyman of Staten Island in New York City. He was rumored to be a homicidal madman who was an escaped mental patient who would hunt children. Once he caught a child, he would drag them back to the abandoned ruins of the old Seaview Hospital. Basically, parents would tell their children this story about Corpsey to scare them into being good. But then in the late 1970s, Corpsey actually came to life in the form of a real homicidal man named Andre Rand, who actually did hunt children. Back in 1987, Rand, who worked at a state school as a janitor, was arrested in connection with the disappearance of a 12-year-old girl with Down syndrome named Jennifer. In the same year, the state school closed. So at this time, Rand was homeless and lived on the grounds of the abandoned school. The school also happened to be close by the abandoned Seaview Hospital, so closely tied in with the Corpsey legend. Searchers then found Jennifer's body body in a shallow grave on the school grounds, and Rand was charged with her murder. But that's not all. Rand also had a record of crimes against children that dated back to 1969 when he was arrested for trying to rape a child, and in 1983 kidnapped a bus full of children for an afternoon. Rand was charged 25 years for killing Jennifer. He was eligible for parole in 2008, but in 2004 police convicted him for another case from years before, and he was given another 25-year sentence. He will not be eligible for parole until 2037 when he will be 93 years old. That's pretty crazy. Alright, and before we jump into number 1, I just want to remind you guys to please show some love by subscribing to our channel, and make sure you stay tuned until the end of the video as I'll be answering your questions. And if you would like to be featured in an upcoming video, then make sure you leave those questions down below. And in at number 1, Charlie No Face. This urban legend is coming from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Charlie No Face was a cautionary tale for children. Parents told their kids that Charlie was a man who was foolishly playing with nearby power lines when he had an accident which caused his face to become severely burned. Parents told this story to their kids to keep them from messing around with exposed electricity. Charlie No Face was said to lurk around in abandoned train tunnels at night and made electricity flicker and turn on and off with his presence. He was also said to wander dark alleyways and deserted country roads late at night. This urban legend was based on a real-life man. His name wasn't Charlie though, it was Raymond Robinson. He had suffered a severe accident involving a dose of 1,200 volts on an electrical trolley bridge when he was a kid. His eyes were cooked into their sockets, his nose was burnt off, and his left arm was destroyed up until the elbow. This amount of electricity should have ended up killing him, but it didn't. Because he didn't like people to see him looking this way, he would only go out at night. But unlike the legend, Raymond didn't do any type of haunting, and he was actually very friendly to people he would come across. He would even sometimes let teens take pictures with him in exchange for cigarettes. Alright, and it's that time of the video where I answer your questions and read comments, so let's get started. So these questions and comments are from our top 5 strangest places to get a piercing video. Amber Macy said, "Do you really just like piercings or what? You have done so many videos on different kinds of piercings, crazy." I mean, I don't dislike piercings, but lists are based off of what the audience likes or what we think will do well, and piercing videos have done really well in the past. So that means you guys like them, so give the people what they want, right? Next, Nicholas Levantis said, "The tooth piercing made me cringe so much." I know, right? That one really freaked me out. I don't know why someone would even do that. Next, JV Studio said, "Anyone want to give me $5?" I have to say, I've never read this comment before, but good on you for trying. Maybe someone will. If you were here, then I would. Next, Sydney Gilbert said, "Love you so much, please make a part 2, by the way, so much cringe." Yeah, that was a lot of cringe. I actually have to do the research and look at all the pictures and stuff, so trust me, it's worse on this end. Next, Shirley Pilger said, "Geez, judgmental much? I've never heard you be so negative. Piercers only pierce places on the request of the person getting the piercing who is an adult. Have you forgotten to each his own? Especially true for those piercings nobody can see. It's my body, my choice." Wow, clearly someone was triggered. Maybe you were unaware when you clicked to the video, but the title of the video was Strangest Places to Get a Piercing. So yeah, that's not gonna be a bunch of positivity. Also, when I did say a drawback on the piercing, I explained why. So yeah, I don't really view that as negative. And you can get piercings when you're 16, so yeah, at 16 you're not an adult, you're a teenager. So I hope this explanation helped to clear up some of your concerns. It's a video, don't read that much into it. Well, there you have it, that is our list for today. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to show some love by giving this video a big thumbs up and turning on that notification bell. Also, leave all of your questions down below so you can be featured in our next video, and I'll catch you in the next one.